It was the late 1990s. If you said you were going to watch the fight, everyone assumed it was boxing. Today, the fight is UFC, the biggest MMA league on the planet. But how did a fringe sport, described as human cockfighting by U.S. senators, become a multi-billion-dollar empire with global stars like Conor McGregor, Anderson Silva, and Ronda Rousey? This is the story of the meteoric rise of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and most importantly, the man behind it all, Dana White. A high school expelled man who sold boxing lessons in Boston was extorted by a mobster, fled to Las Vegas, and ended up transforming MMA into a global money-making machine. Check out this story. But first, subscribe to the channel, otherwise you can leave. Just kidding, but let's go. The origins of the UFC. In the 1970s, the Gracie brothers brought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to the United States. With videos and real-life challenges, Gracie's in action, they caught the attention of publicist Art Davie. Together, in 1993, they created the Ultimate Fighting Championship, a tournament to discover which martial art was the most powerful. In its debut in Colorado, with no weight classes or many rules, anything went except biting and poking, a skinny Royce Gracie shocked the world by submitting all his opponents, popularizing jiu-jitsu. The event, however, was savaged by the media and politicians, with then-Senator John McCain declaring war on the event and managing to ban the UFC in 36 American states. To survive, the UFC was forced to reinvent itself. It created categories, banned extreme strikes, implemented rounds, and sought recognition from athletic commissions. Even so, the business was sinking financially. By 2000, the UFC was close to bankruptcy. Who is Dana White? Dana White was born in Connecticut, expelled from school, pursued a boxing career, dropped out of 2 colleges, and opened a small gym in Boston. The business grew, until it caught the attention of the local mob, led by Whitey Bulger, the gangster played by Johnny Depp in the film Black Massachusetts. 2 henchmen demanded a $2,500 fee. When White received a call from Kevin Weeks, Bulger's right-hand man, he took off. He bought a one-way ticket to Las Vegas. In Sin City, he reconnected with old schoolmates, brothers Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta, heirs to the Station Casino's hotel empire. They became friends, began training jiu-jitsu together, and through fighter John Lewis, fell in love with MMA. Dana became a manager for fighters like Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, and Tito Ortiz. During a contract, he discovered that the UFC was for sale. He ran to the Fertittas. In 2001, they bought the organization for just $2 million. Dana received 10% and became president. The war to make the UFC work. The trio took over a bankrupt brand, banned in several states, with no sponsors, and seemingly a joke. From 2001 to 2004, they burned through over $40 million, without profit. But Dana White refused to give up. The final straw was creating a reality TV show, The Ultimate Fighter. At first, no network wanted to buy it. Until Spike TV agreed to air it, stuck on WWE Raw, to capitalize on the male audience. It was an immediate success. The final episode, featuring the bloody battle between Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonnar, was watched by over 2 million people, the fight that saved the UFC. After that, the UFC exploded. It bought rivals like Pride, Japan, and Strikeforce, gained exclusivity with Fox in a $100 million deal, and later with ESPN for $1.5 billion. Global dominance and controversy. Under Dana White's leadership, the UFC became a global phenomenon. It promoted events in Abu Dhabi, China, Australia, Canada, Chile, and more than 20 other countries. It transformed athletes into entertainment superstars, from Georges St-Pierre to Khabib Nurmagomedov. In 2016, the UFC was sold by the Fertitta family to WMEIMG for a staggering $4 billion, becoming the largest sale in sports history. Dana White remained as president, earning a multi-million-dollar salary and a share of the profits. But not everything was rosy. The UFC was accused of being a factory for doping athletes in the 2010s, with allegations that more than 80% were using anabolic steroids. Furthermore, it faced fierce criticism for paying fighters peanuts. While in the initial era, they received 40% of revenue, by 2022 that figure had dropped to just 16%. Dana White became the villain. Arrogantly in interviews, he responded that anyone who wasn't happy was free to start their own league. Conclusion. From the underworld of underground fights to the Oscars red carpet, the UFC represented the taming of chaos. And Dana White was its driving force. Escaping from mobsters, gambling his reputation and fortune, using reality TV as a Trojan horse, he transformed MMA from a fringe sport into a global sport. He led the professionalization, became the face of the brand, and made billions. Amidst controversy and achievements, Dana paved the way for the fight to no longer mean boxing, and to mean the ultimate fighting championship. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next video.